we're going to be looking at a little bit of an introduction, a little bit of a background on the Wicked. And the reason why is because women will watch Wicked.
What?
And we
Yeah,
got to get our female
we're
demographic
we're
up on the
we're
panel.
predicting this to be potentially a pretty big movie.
Oh, I'm very confident it will be one of the biggest movies of 2024. I'm very confident. It's probably going to be a contender between Inside Out 1, 2, Dune Part 2, and
Wicked.
Wicked.
think-
I if I'm going to just guess right now, I think those are going to be the three
haven't
top that are
gotten-
kind of fighting for number one, you know?
We haven't had a good musical in a minute. We had West Side Story, but like that was a remake and I liked it, but you know, we haven't had a good musical in a while.
Yeah, and I think this lends itself well to something that could be enjoyed. I
Yeah.
also think it has potential to be extremely woke. If
You think?
Definitely.
Look, from what I've read about it, I read a synopsis on the story. I get big kind of musical Harry Potter vibes from this, because it especially the majority of it, I think, takes place kind of at a university, and so I think it's got potential to have that sort of Harry Potter feel.
Well, before we get into those details, I'm curious why, since you read the good synopsis, will you give the people that are new to this, because I since we're not all familiar with the story, we're all new to Wicked. We haven't seen the stage play. I don't think any of us have read the books. People that are watching, I hope, are in the same position. What is the setting for Wicked, if you will describe it?
Yeah, it's basically there's two sisters. Let me just go ahead and pull up the article on my phone so I can remember their names. And
also have it, I think.
That way I can just sort of the names are the just what I'm looking for here.
Let's see, Elphaba.
Yeah.
Elphaba.
And her sister is
Glenda.
No, that Glenda's her friend. Later on,
Elba's history with Glenda, the Good Witch.
Yeah, her sister is
Glenda, the Good Witch. That's the sister, right?
No. Nessa Rose.
Nessa Rose. Sounds like
so.
Name
so
Game of Thrones.
the whole setting is they both go they both go to university. They are they don't know who their father is, just that Elphaba's mother was given like a potion, like a green potion that made Elphaba green. And her sister is disabled some way. I think she's in a wheelchair or something. She can't walk. And I think that's from a potion as well.
Okay.
It was an attempt to make sure that she wasn't going to be green. And it made her unable to walk, and I believe it killed their mother as well. So,
and this is in the world of Oz, right?
Yeah. So they're sent to a university. That's where they meet Galinda, and there's a bunch of like drama that happens, and love stories, and teasing, and all the stuff you expect in like a sort of a university magic kind of story.
Are there men there or boys there?
Yeah,
because I was thinking I was getting kind of like Catholic girl witch school.
Elphaba and Galinda become friends, but I believe Galinda wants to marry this guy, and eventually he falls in love with Elphaba, and there's contention between them, and then eventually the story sort of moves into the events of The Wizard of Oz, where the characters are kind of living out what's happening while Dorothy is on her adventure, what's going on with the Wicked Witch, and Galinda changes her name to Glinda, and Nessa Rose, what happens and why she gets crushed by a house,
Right.
and basically
Sets up good motivations for what these witches are, why they're doing what they do, and where they are in the story when we come into Wizard of Oz, right?
Right. And so that's sort of the story. It's interesting. There were a lot of different where as I read it, it said this is where the character sings this song, and this is where the character sings this song. So there's quite a bit of different musical elements that I think could be fun. Do we know if this is going to be a two-parter?
Yes, it is going to be a two-parter.
Okay.
So part
that
one
makes
is
sense.
now at the end of 2024. So this is going to probably be the Christmas movie, and that's why I'm also predicting it to be pretty large, because not only is it Christmas, and not only will families go to it most likely, but a lot of women will go to this because they're looking forward to it. Now, to get the background of kind of the story of Wicked, basically, so it was originally a book, right? Written by, let's see, his name was written by Gregory Maguire. Not the same guy who wrote the book The Wizard of Oz, right? This is a different guy. The original Wizard of Oz, I believe, is L. Frank Boehm, whatever. But yeah, Baum, maybe. So, but Gregory, and so this guy, who actually I didn't really know him. He's kind of fallen behind the wayside. But when I was doing research behind this, I was like, oh, I feel like I should know more about this guy. Okay, so Steven Schwartz. He is a music composer, a lyricist, and musician, right? He is best known not only for writing the play and now writing the foundation of the movie for Wicked, also composing all the songs and writing all the songs for the stage play for Wicked, the one who had the idea to take the novel and turn it into a stage play in the 90s. But he also wrote, obviously Hans Zimmer's was the composer did the music for Prince of Egypt, but he was the one who wrote the lyrics, who composed the actual singing songs, and then for Prince of Egypt, as well as Pocahontas, and the most impressive next to Prince of Egypt is the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Freaking the Disney version. What a crazy, between Prince of Egypt and Hunchback of Notre Dame, those are like the most iconic soundtracks and musicals of our childhood, of any childhood. They're so epic.
And let's be honest, Enchanted had some bops in it as well.
It did. It really did. And so
what bops?
And if you look at his list, he really did that early stuff. He also did Joseph King of Dreams after Prince of Egypt, but then he did some smaller stuff until he hit Wicked, and then his kind of time has been spent on Wicked or like Prince of Egypt stuff or like stage things, and now he's back into the movie stuff again more intensely with Wicked Part 1 and Wicked Part 2, right? For the movies. So he hasn't done, his record's not huge, but he's done very impressive things, right? And honestly, I'm surprised I haven't heard of this guy before, because he writes, like, you have to think about this. The Bells of Notre Dame, he wrote that song, or when the brother to Moses is singing, "Once I called you brother," like he wrote all of this, Such a brilliant writer, I feel like, when it comes musically. And so I have a lot of hope for this, as long as a bunch of modern politics does not get injected into this story, into Wicked, which I feel like you think it might. I don't think it was
think
written for that intentionally, like with the stage
no, but
play. I
it
don't
would be
think.
very, very easy for them
Easy
to
to,
insert
yeah.
it. Yeah, very easy. From what I read, it's pretty. I think if as long as it maybe sticks to the play and does not insert unnecessary elements,
Right.
um, it could be really good.
I'm really hoping that it turns out well. And I obviously we're not trying to give a whole lot of spoilers. We have a whole year before this thing comes out. I think it's just important to get our feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
Try to create some expectation, create a little bit of education around this because I'm sure we're going to either talk about it with people online or with each other. And I just want to, I think it's important that even a year from now, I think this is going to be a real big film at the end of next year. And
Yeah.
even when we hit the summer, they're going to come out with a trailer and we're going to be expecting it until the end of the year. And and just to look at the IMDb of it really quickly, we know Ariana Grande is in it, right? Let's see, Wicked. Right. Let's look at the cast list just to familiar ourselves with that. Cynthia Evro is playing Elphaba, and then Ariana Grande is playing Glinda.
Michelle Yeoh.
Let's see, Michelle Yeoh is playing Madame Morrible. Is she going to be like a teacher at the school or something? Morrible?
Yeah, she's an important character. I believe Bach and Fierro,
probably.
He's an important character. Yeah.
Oh, we got Jeff Goldblum as a wizard. Oh, the Wizard of Oz is showing up.
The wizard.
Wizard of Oz.
Of Oz. Wow.
Don't look at the man behind the curtain.
The curtain.
What can I
Pay
help
attention
you
to
with?
what's right in front of you. Right. So we got a little bit of Jeff Goldblum showing up as well. So that's just a rough look. Do you guys have any other thoughts outside of predictions? I'm just trying to fill in just a starting foundation for this story because I know nothing about the stage play. I haven't ever been. I'm
never either. I've heard a few songs from it, but I've not, seen the play, so I don't know much about it either. But I've heard a few songs.
I think
outside of it going woke, what's predictions do you have, Wyatt?
I think if it would probably be in the second movie, the second part, where they actually get into what's going on during the Wizard of Oz. I think it would be really cool and interesting if they, for all of the Wizard of Oz scenes, right, with that take place during the original story, they make it as true to the original movie as they can. That would be really cool. It just like shot for shot, sort of line for line, because with the context that you have for the characters now, then you can kind of understand what's going on, and we already know what's going on with Dorothy and with the others, so it'd be interesting to see each time Elphaba interacts with Dorothy, why she's interacting with her in that manner,
right?
It would be really cool to see it's very true to the original, while giving you the other side, the other perspective of the story.